Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I jumped on, guys, to give you a quick word today. It is so encouraging. It is so amazing what God has done. I want to talk to you guys simply because of the fact that God did it again. God did it again. I was laying in bed this morning, guys, and a text came across my phone. And when I looked at the text, she said, the person, because I didn't know it was a she at first, it said, "Dear Angel, I need you today more than anything. I need you to stand with me and pray for me." It said a little bit more, but it was urgent and it was as if, the person was like really needing some help. And so I looked at the number and what made me stop is I was like, the number looked recognizable, but not so much. So I hated to do it because when people reach out and ask you to pray for them and they tell you need it, it's like, oh my God, I didn't save this person's number in my phone, right? So I apologize. I said, I don't recognize this number, but I do need to know who this is so that I can pray for you. And so the person texted back and they said, oh my God, my apologies. She said, my best friend died about a year ago, and this was her number. And I had hip surgery yesterday, and a slug of things went wrong, complications, and I have to go back in surgery today. And I just reached out to her in heaven because really need her to pray for me. And I said, "Oh my goodness." And she said, "Again, my apologies." So I said, "I am so lost for the loss. I'm so sorry. My condolences for the loss of your best friend." I said, "But I would love to pray for you." I said, I am a child of God and I can do that for you." And so she said, I thought this number was no longer working. And she said, I need her. And I oftentimes would just send her a text in heaven, or I would say something to her, not knowing that this number had been taken. Now, mind you, I've had this phone for about a year. And I can't remember because of the number of texts that come across if she had said something before or anything, but I know that this particular morning her text came through. And so I began to pray for her through text, and I prayed for her and I told her to go in surgery in peace because God had heard her prayer, also commanding and decreeing that her body act in the way in which God created it to act, and no weapon formed against her shall prosper, and that God guide the physician's hand. So after doing all of that, I truly didn't think too much of it, but I told her God cares for her. I knew that the Spirit of God was speaking to me through me to this woman, right? But it didn't, I didn't think much more of it. I went on about my morning, talking to my man and all this type of thing. And I came, and when I started out listening for the word of God, like I usually do. The first thing I do in the morning, guys. And so then from moving from one room, from the bedroom to the den, turning on a whole nother teaching of God. I went from TD Jakes to from the motivation to Noel Jones, like, the things that I would do to get the word in me before I read my parables and journeying, my 5 things that I'm grateful for during the day, right, in the morning. So it did not hit me until I began to, look for what it was that God would have me to give you guys today. And I heard the Spirit say, get in position. And that is my word to you today, to get in position that God can use you. Not only was it a phenomenal doing this morning, that God literally shows us that he loves us so much that he can use anybody at any time. See, where this lady had been texting her best friend before, had been talking to her best friend, this morning at the time where she needed an angel. Oh, come on, somebody. God gave her an angel in human form. You understand what I'm saying? But the only way that I could have been in position to hear from God, to move on God's behalf is if I was in position, and I was in position. God is telling you, get in position. See, the thing that we get confused is that we get confused that the word says in Matthew 22:14, many are called, but few are chosen. And so we run around and say, oh, we called, but are you chosen? You understand what I'm saying? Because when you're chosen, you understand that God has a special work for you to do. God has, look, many are the laborers, but few are chosen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We have a whole lot of people running around saying they called, but are you chosen? And you have to be in the position that you can hear from God, that you can hear when God is calling you to do a work for him. Because listen, God cares so much about us that he can use anybody. Listen, you don't have to be so concerned about the fact that, listen, I don't know if God said this, and I don't know if God said that, and what if I miss what God, listen, if you get in position, God will make that thing clear for you. And that lady needed an angel this morning. She needed somebody to pray for her. And for me, my heart is rejoicing. Not so much that God used me, because God oftentimes uses me, but because God shows us that a stranger can be used to do his will, that a stranger can speak so that you can hear from him, that God would do whatever he got to do because he cares for you, because he loves you. Where this young lady went into surgery, or this older lady, whatever she may have went into surgery, and everything went wrong. And she said, let me talk to my angel in heaven. Guys, y'all don't even understand. Let me talk to my angel in heaven. Let me talk to my best friend and hope that she's watching over me. That, listen, God did it again. God showed up just when that lady needed a friend. God showed up just when she needed to know that God in heaven heard her. God showed her that I will be your best friend when you've lost your best friend, that I will be your ram in a bush. Guys, you can't tell me what God won't do. God will show up just on time, just in time. God will show up when you need a friend. God will show up when you need somebody there, when you feel like you're lonely. God will answer your prayer and show you that he's real and that he cares for us. Sometimes we're so busy thinking that listen, I'm going through this and I'm going through this. Guys, oh my God, I've been going through hell. Let me tell you, I've gone through hell. And listen, every time, God has a tremendous work for me to do. Guys, look like the world would turn upside down on its axle, and everything that could come on me. Every time. And it escapes me because I be so busy in the fight, so busy in it, like what in the world, this on this hand and this on this hand. And then when God releases that thing, I be like, praise be to God. Come on, somebody. Praise be to God, because listen, the devil thought he had her. The devil thought he had her. He thought that, listen, that maybe her faith had got a little shaken. Maybe she felt like wasn't nobody there. Maybe she felt all alone. But don't you know, come on, somebody, that God will allow you to go through some things, but he'll keep you. He'll protect you. No weapon formed against me prosper. Let me say this again. No weapon formed against me prosper, because God had a work for me to do, but I needed to be in position. God loved that lady so much that everything the devil threw at me, including the kitchen sink, couldn't prosper because of this day right here. This day right here. He needed me to be in position so that I can hear from him, so that I could speak a miracle in that lady's life, so I could be there when he said be there. Get in position so that God can use you. Get in position so God can use you. I need to say that again. Whatever you need to let go, let go. Whatever you need to do, do it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Come on, somebody. So that God can use you. Your rightness, you being in position is somebody else's blessing. Somebody else is depending on you. Somebody else needs you to be able to hear from God. See, we fellowship one to another. You're not here on this earth by yourself. I need you and you need me. But I can't need you. You can't be of use to me, and I can't be of use to you if I'm not following God's will.